Back at the start of 2023, I took on the biggest project yet, the water underfloor heating. This home renovation was challenging. For starters, I had to send my family away to live with parents for 2 weeks. I had absolutely no experience and very little money to do it with. But why bother taking on such a crazy project? The idea started with a text from my girlfriend Nicole, and we realised there are 3 really good reasons to do it. It feels nice, it increases the value of the property, and we needed to find a solution for the 3 different floor levels in the house. Because I'd built a house extension and knocked down an internal wall, we'd essentially made an old living room, an old kitchen, and a new extension into one big space. But as a result, all of the floors were at different heights and made up with different materials, some of which are not that good for energy efficiency. So I decided to bite the bullet now and hope that my future self was going to thank me later. Because my family were living with parents, I had 2 weeks to complete this project, which means I had very tight deadlines to stick to. I'd organised for a concrete slab to be poured 5 days after the project started, which means I needed to get rid of all of the floors, remove all of the waste, and lay the new subfloor before then. If we missed that deadline, it could be weeks or even months before the concrete company could schedule me in again, leaving me and my family stranded at my parents' house. Luckily, we hit the first deadline, which was to remove all of the floors and get rid of that waste material in 2 days. With the old floor gone, we could get the new floor in. Me, my dad and my uncle borrowed tons of MOT1 and sand into the new floor. After making such good progress, I thought this was going to be the hardest bit, but I'd never laid a DPM layer before. It took me a lot longer than expected to correctly lay the damp-proof membrane. In fact, I'd only just finished it as the concrete pouring team arrived. With the first week finished, I was relieved to see that the concrete floor had been poured, and that led me straight into the technical part of the installation. I let the floor dry over the weekend and then started to install the amenities, the installation, and then finally the water underfloor heating pipes, which actually turned out to be easier than expected. Even my son had a go at hammering them in. And at the end of the second week, there was only one more thing to do. That's wait for the 7th floor screed to be poured by the screeders. And because we couldn't go home until the floor was dry, I decided to book a cheap sun holiday for me and the family with some of the money I'd saved by doing this myself. And when we came home, I felt like the kitchen project had finally begun.